Hello everybody. We're here on Conscientious Objectors Day to celebrate the bravery of conscientious objectors in the face of the might of the military and the state. We'll have a short ceremony, and this is organised by SCRAP, Sheffield Creative Action for Peace. We meet monthly and make stuff and take action to promote peace, and anyone who would like to join us is very welcome. The plan for today is that June will speak about why we're doing this ceremony, then we'll have testimony from conscientious objectors. The Choir for Peace will sing 2 songs. Choir for Peace is led by Helen Lyle and Annie Womack, and new members are also welcome to join that. We'll then have 2 minutes silence, lay a wreath on the cenotaph. Choir for Peace will sing 1 more song, and then we'll finish. So, June, would you like to come and say why we're doing this ceremony today?
Conscientious objection, the refusal to be conscripted to fight and kill, has always been an important part of the campaign for peace. This year, Conscientious Objectors Day here seems more important than ever, as war and the arms race is on the agenda in a way we've not seen since the days of the Cold War. In other parts of the world, however, war is an ongoing reality. The World Population Review names 40 ongoing armed conflicts in the world today, including the ones in Palestine, Iran, Yemen, Sudan and Ukraine, and Russia that are closest to us. The drive for war internationally has meant that more countries are introducing conscientious objections or tightening the rules to prevent conscientious objection. This year, the US government is preparing for the largest change in its system of military conscription since 1980. Germany, Croatia, Serbia and Denmark are also proposing to tighten their rules on conscription. Many countries, however, such as Turkey, Egypt, Morocco and Thailand, countries that British tourists regularly travel to, don't even recognise conscientious objection. Other countries, such as Ukraine and Russia, while officially recognising conscription, do not follow the United Nations guidelines, do not have proper procedures or offer alternative services, and pressurise people to sign up or refuse to recognise conscription in times of war. So to be a conscientious objector today, as in the past, is a very courageous thing to do. The actions of conscientious objectors represent a huge sacrifice for those involved, and while the impact of the individual act may seem relatively small, in worldwide terms, the collective acts of conscientious objectors are a very important part of peace campaigning. As the drive to introduce and tighten up conscientious objection takes place, the fight against conscription intensified and the number of conscientious objectors increases. In America, the number of US military personnel seeking advice about becoming conscientious objectors has increased 1,000% since the start of the Iran war. In Europe, under the slogan, "No to conscription and war preparations. The rich want war, the youth want a future." This is the slogan of students across Germany who have been protesting against the reintroduction of conscription in Germany. They have taken to the streets in 2 nationwide strikes and are planning future strikes with students in Italy and France. The struggle for the right to refuse has become much more active in Israel, as you can imagine, during the genocide and West Bank attacks. There are an increasing number of organisations in Israel opposing conscription, war and the militarisation of society. One of these is New Profile, an Israeli anti-militarist and feminist organisation. In recent years, particularly during the 2024 to 26 Gaza war, there has been a rise in both young people refusing to enlist and reservists refusing to serve. In Israel, refusers face imprisonment, social condemnation and social isolation. But today, we are here to commemorate all conscientious objectors from the past and present, and the contribution they have made for peace. Especially in times of global armed conflict, it is more important than ever to promote public debate on conscription, conscientious objections, and the impact of militarism on welfare, health, poverty, and the climate emergency, and campaign for a peace without war, and that brings true security to all. We must continue to campaign for the right not to fight and not to kill.
Thanks, June. Now we'll hear testimony from conscientious objectors.
My name is Natiwit Chotifatfal. I am a conscientious objector from Thailand. In my country, military conscription is still enforced. Young men are expected to surrender their bodies to the state, but I have chosen a different path. I refuse conscription not out of fear, but out of conviction. I reject the idea that peace must come through violence, that obedience is more important than conscience. Militaristic values permeate Thai society, not only in the barracks, but in our classrooms, in our politics, in how young people are taught to think and express themselves. These values make true education, democracy and freedom of expression difficult to achieve. Our objective is to resist that mindset, and instead we say, our lives should not be tools of war, our minds not moulded by fear. On this International Conscientious Objectors Day, I stand in solidarity with conscientious objectors around the world, those who refuse to kill. Our stance may be lonely, even dangerous, but it is necessary. Because conscience is not weakness, it is strength, and it may be the seed of a more just and peaceful world.
This is testimony from Yuri Shelezenko, heavily praised, I might say, from his own words. Yuri is the General Secretary of the Ukrainian Pacifist Movement and a council member of both the International Peace Bureau and World Beyond War. He's also a recipient of the Sean McBride Peace Prize and is a Quaker. Yuri lives in Kyiv and has suffered numerous raids on his home by the security services. In 2023, he wrote a document entitled Peace Agenda for Ukraine and the World, and was promptly arrested and charged with the offence of justification of Russian aggression. He's had several court appearances and managed to stave off any further action. Since then, he's received communications saying that he needed to report for military duty, so had a sense that something would happen at some point. Then on March the 19th this year, Yuri was forcibly detained on the street of Kyiv. He managed to ring his lawyer, who told the officers that any detention would be illegal. The officers ignored this and took him into detention of the Military Conscription Authority at one of their cosily named territorial centres for recruitment and social support. Upon arrival, he was beaten, pepper sprayed, and dragged by his feet and hair. He kept reiterating that he was a Quaker and a conscientious objector. There was also a Jehovah's Witness in custody at this time. He was refused medical aid and was verbally abused and taunted. He was again beaten on his second day in custody whilst being taken for a supposed military medical examination. The officers took his glasses away so he could see very little. He was also threatened with electric shock. On the third day, he was transported to another recruitment centre. One recruiter offered him work in the army with drones. He repeated that he was a CO and demanded to see his crime report and to be taken to court, where he could argue his case. Bizarrely, he was then shoved into an unused restroom overnight. In the restroom, there were many old documents, but also some copies of the Bible, which gave Yuri some solace. On his last day in custody, he rejoined other detainees, a taxi driver, a drunk man taken in off the street, and a restaurant chef. He was eventually released on the 23rd of March with no money or phone in another part of Kyiv City, and some members of the public paid his fare to allow him to return home.
I am Kim Moon-young, a conscientious objector from South Korea. Today, on International Conscientious Objectors Day, we are here to share our hearts for peace and human rights. The martial law situation that occurred in South Korea in December 2024 was a significant moment for us. At that time, the passive resistance of the South Korean soldiers and the non-violent resistance of the citizens became the decisive force in stopping the martial law. This vividly showed the power we have when we stand in solidarity and resist together. Conscientious objection is not simply an individual's choice, but a powerful cry and action for peace. We firmly believe that we can resolve problems through dialogue and peaceful means, not by force. Witnessing the courageous activities of each of you in your respective places and the many people who have continued their conscientious objections in South Korea, I too was able to decide to object. I will continue to stand in solidarity with you in the future. What we can imagine, we can make real. So let's never stop imagining more peace.
So Choir for Peace will now sing Unsung Heroes by Jane Lewis, and this song includes the names of conscientious objectors from many countries, including Israel, USA, Thailand, Turkey, Russia and Ukraine. Following that, we will sing Lay It Down by Nicomo.
Itamar Greenberg, Offa Shaw, Sahar Vardy, Jeremy Hinsman, Aidan Delgado, Kimberly Rivera, Andrei Vernevchevsky, Vitaly Alexenko, Mikhail Zhilin.
Inspired
Larry Hebert, Juan Betancourt, Andrei Martinuk, Hedani Tomniuk, Seri Sisitsky, Camilo Mejia, Agustin Aguaya.
Tell me the stories of unsung heroes, socialist Quakers and more. Tortured and frog-marched and sent to hard labour for refusing to kill in the war. Sing the songs of the unsung heroes, who went to the Hague and laid our foundations for stopping the war and an equal peace to be made.
Crystal Macmillan, Kathleen Courtney, Emmeline Pethick Lawrence, Olga Missar, Lucy Thumayan, Razika Schwimmer, Rosa Giannoni.
Tell me the names of the unsung heroes, those who refused to kill. In silence and distress of pain and Turkey, courage inspires us still.
Maxim Kuzmin, Zakhar Asmalovsky, Zevgeny Poloskov, Elgiz Ibrahimov, Zia Gerkalp Turkus, Mahmut Elkus, Marian Kapats, Andriy Martinyuk, Abdullah William Webster, Stephen Funk, Yuval Moav, Atakia Ben Abba.
Tell me the names of the unsung heroes, those who refused to kill. In Russia, Ukraine, the US, and in Israel, their courage inspires us still. Tell me the names, tell me the names, tell me. Tell me the names, tell me the names, tell me the names. Lay it down. Faces, lay it down. Lay it down. You can lay down. 2, 3. Lay it down. You've got to lay it down. Lay it down. You've got to lay it down. Peace will never come from the barrel of your gun. So lay it down right now. Lay got to lay down. Lay down. You've got to lay down. Peace will never come from the barrel of your gun. So lay down right now. Lay down. You've got to lay down. Lay down. You've got to lay down. Peace will never come from the barrel of your gun. So lay down right now. Lay down. You've got to lay down. Lay down. You've got to lay down. Peace will never come from the barrel of your gun. So lay down right now.
We'll now have 2 minutes silence. Thank you. And Catherine will now lay a wreath in honour of conscientious objectors on the cenotaph. for Peace will now sing Never Doubt. The music is by Polly Bolton and the words are from Margaret Mead.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world indeed. It is the only thing that ever has. Never doubt.
Thank you, everybody. If you would like to know more about SCRAP, Sheffield Creative Action for Peace, or the Choir for Peace, or the Cloak of Peace, which isn't actually on show, but it can be. If you would like to come see it, come and ask us before you go.